Good morning. Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a great weekend and is rested and ready for the week ahead. I am going to pull this up over here so that we can pick a winner for the Happy Meal. So I'm just going to look real quick and see who shared the video and then pick a name. I'll let this pick a name, I guess, really. Alrighty, here we go. Thank you for those of you who sprinkled the video. I do appreciate that so much. Alright, it looks like Natasha Jones is the winner. So thank you so much, Natasha, for sprinkling the video. I will be sure and get your Happy Meal to you. Today we are going to learn a technique to paint buffalo plaid. So buffalo plaid is my favorite, and we are going to learn how to paint buffalo plaid today and make a cute fall sign. So to start off with, you're going to need 4 of these pumpkins from the Dollar Tree. So they have orange and a black one, and they have these cream colored ones. It doesn't matter which ones you pick, you just need 4 of them. Okay, we're going to take this bows off and set those to the side. We might reuse those. If we don't reuse them for this, we might use them for something later. So we'll set those to the side. And then I've got a little sandpaper here, so I'm just gonna rough up. I've been trying to decide how I'm gonna do this. Is they've got like this glittery, lettery stuff all over them. If you're at home, you could definitely take like a power sander and sand them really well and get all of that off. I'm thinking for today, I'm actually gonna maybe use the back. And maybe I should have taken these stickers off before we got started. So let me know how your weekend was. Did you do anything fun? Anybody been to any pumpkin patches or anything? Picked out some pumpkins, put up their fall decorations. I'm just trying to get these stickers off the back here so that we have a surface to put our paint on. They're really good and stuck. So this is definitely something like if you're crafty, you could cut these out yourself if you can use power tools. They're not super complicated. It's basically a square with the corners cut off, or rectangle, I guess is what that shape is. So you could definitely cut those yourself if you're handy with power tools, but at only $1 each, it's really kind of worth it to just buy them and just use what is already there. We're just going to sand this down a little bit and kind of rough it up. So that we can apply our buffalo plaid. And as you can see, I have given up on taking off the stickers. I'm just going to hope that my paint will cover. We'll see. This is really just the back. I'm sanding down a little bit. Just so my paint will stick just a little bit better here in a minute. Okay. Well, there's glitter everywhere. So the first thing we're going to do is use white paint to cover the backs of the pumpkins. I'm just going to put a little bit on my plate here. This is that wicker white from Folk Art. I like the Folk Art and the Deco Art paints the best. They just have a better coverage. Certainly you can buy the cheaper paints. Sometimes it just takes a little bit more of them to get a good coverage. So it just depends upon how many coats of paints you want to put on your project. So we're just going to cover these. They're going to take probably 2 coats of paint. So I'm just painting the backs. And that sticker does show through a little bit, but I think by the time we get the buffalo plaid on, and we're going to actually put letters on these as well, that you won't be able to tell, so it'll be just fine. So just a quick coat of paint. Don't forget to sprinkle the video, and you can be entered to win Happy Mail for this next week. So the quick coat of paint on these so that we can, and I'll show you how to do this super cute buffalo plaid painting technique that I have used on a lot of things already this year. I love buffalo plaid. So like I said, if I wasn't doing this live, I would probably take these outside and use a power sander and sand them down a little bit better, but I wanted you to be able to see what they looked like when I got them from the dollar store, and so you could really see what you were looking for. Alright, so we've got a coat of paint on there. I'm going to go ahead and put a little more on this one. And then we're going to hit them with a blow dryer to speed this process up. So it's going to get loud. We can put on a second coat of paint. So just some more white on there. The nice thing about the buffalo plaid painting technique is that it does cover a lot of those imperfections. So if your background's not 100% covered, it's really going to be okay, because the time you get all the rest of these lines on here, you're not going to notice it as much. You want a fairly good coverage, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So this is another one of our fall t-shirt designs. If you are looking for some cute fall t-shirts, I have a couple different designs on our page, and they start at $20. You can shoot me a message and we can get that made for you. Also, don't forget to stop by the Pumpkin Shed in Sellersburg. They graciously allowed me to set up some of my door hanger pieces there. And they have great prices on pumpkins and stuff for all your fall decor too. So stop by there and check out our fall door hangers and pick up some pumpkins. I think they do a little like maze and petting zoo thing as well too, so you can do that while you're there. It's lots of fun. Okay, so we're going to take, this is Deco Art Dazzling Metallics in bright brass. I think it's more of a gold color personally, but we're going to take that and we're just going to put a little bit on the edges. Just so they all look the same, because I've got 3 different colors right now, so we don't want that. So we're just going to paint the edges gold. Now this gold does not have a super great coverage, so it's definitely going to take a few coats to get it to where they all look the same, but that's okay. Just brushing that on the edge here. Just like so. So it's got a little gold edge now. Don't forget to put in the comments if you do sprinkle the video so we can make sure and get your name in next week's drawing for Happy Mail. Alright, just brushing that on there, covering the sides so we've got a real pretty gold edge on the side. Alright, one more to cover here. Thank you, Leslie. Sprinkling the video. Make sure and enter your name into that drawing for some Happy Mail. Alright. Last little bit here. Okay, so when you do the buffalo plaid painting technique, you want to be sure that your paint is good and dry, because we're going to stick painter's tape and it will not stick if your paint's wet. So we're going to hit this with the blow dryer. There's going to be a lot of blow drying today, just to make sure everything's good and dry. Should be good. We are going to use painter's tape, and I recommend the frog tape brand rather than like the blue tape or a masking tape. Those things tend to pull paint off, so by using this frog tape you'll make sure you get those nice crisp lines. So this frog tape is 1.41 inches, and you can buy it at all the big box stores. So we're just going to pull off a little strip, and what you want to do is put your stripes on one way and then we'll put them on the other way. So we're just going to press this down, and then I'm going to use another little piece to space out my tape. So just put that piece down for a second, and I'm going to put this one here. I'm going to take this little piece up and just make sure that that's good. So we're going to have two lines on the pumpkin. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. No, we're going to do these one at a time, and that'll give them time to dry in between. Okay, so we're going to use black paint. This is ebony black. So we're just going to put a little bit on our plate. This does not take a lot of paint, this technique, so you just need a little bit. And then we're going to take a baby wipe. So you want to make sure it's good and wet. You don't want to use a baby wipe that's all dried out because it won't work. So if your baby wipes are dried out, get them a little wet. You don't want it like sopping wet, but it needs to be moist. And you're just going to dip this in the black paint and kind of, so I dipped it and I just kind of wiped it off over here on the side. You don't want a ton of paint on here, but you want enough, okay? And make sure your tape's all pushed down, and then we're just going to swipe across here just like this, and you're just going to kind of keep wiping it across your pumpkin. Okay, so just like that, straight across. And you see I didn't go back and get more paint because you really don't want a ton of paint. And what this does is it kind of gives you this fabric-y type look to your paint. So I will show you. Let's see if you can see that. You see how it put like those lines in the paint? So it just kind of gives you that fabric-y type look. All right, so we're just gonna pull this tape off. You wanna make sure you pull the tape off while the paint's still wet. It'll help make sure that your lines are crisp. And I'm actually gonna try to reuse this tape and put it over here. We'll see how well that works for me. What happened to my little piece? All right, so put that one down, pull this one up, and push it down. All right, so then we're gonna do the next pumpkin. And I did not get any more paint. This is the same paint that was on here before. And you kind of want to go one direction, just straight across, and just kind of keep wiping until you get some of those lines in your paint, okay? All right, set that one over, pull this off. I'm actually gonna switch this up a little bit. I'm gonna put this piece on the bottom and then put this piece so that my stripes are a little more varied, because we're gonna set these in a row, and I don't want them to all look exactly like one just big giant piece of buffalo plaid. I don't know if that makes sense, but you might see what I'm talking about here in a minute. All right, so put that down, get our baby wipe, just wipe it across. And by really pushing on the painter's tape where it's on your piece, that allows you to make sure you don't get like any leaks underneath. So you get those nice crisp lines. Okay, and last one here. We'll start at the top. This baby wipe's still pretty moist, so we're just going to continue to use it. If it starts to get dried out, you're definitely going to want to grab a new one, because you need some of that moisture to help make sure your paint is gliding across your piece. I've used this technique on bigger door hangers, so you probably have seen that. I used it on a porch cleaner. You could really use it on just about anything, and it just gives you that nice plaid look. That's super popular right now. All right, so we've got that. This, again, you want to make sure this is really good and dry, so we're going to get the blow dryer back out. Okay, now we're going to put our stripes on the other way. So just going to take a piece of tape and put it down. I'm gonna let it hang off the edge a little bit the first time I put it down, just so that I can fit more stripes on this pumpkin. For this smaller project, you might want smaller tape. This is what I had, so it's what we're using. I'm just kind of eyeballing that. I'll put 2 stripes on there. 2 stripes on this one. Rather than reuse the same tape like I did last time, I'm gonna just tape all these up. All right, so I've got all of our tape on now. Just gonna take our baby wipe. I'm gonna get a little paint. I'm gonna use a different corner, just so I know it's good and wet. And just, this time we're gonna go up and down with our baby wipe. You want this row to be either a little darker or a little lighter than the last row, so you don't want like the exact same amount of paint on there. And that will give you that nice buffalo plaid look. Just up and down, and either darker or lighter than your last row. The more you wipe it, the more the paint is going to come off. Okay, so that you can kind of play with the variations of coloring. They're sticking together. We'll just let them stick together, it's fine. Okay, last one here. You could also, if you're really intimidated by this painting technique, pick up a piece of like buffalo plaid paper and Mod Podge it on. I had kind of thought about doing that originally, and then I thought, well, it'd be nice to show you how to do this. So I thought we would do this instead. But you could definitely Mod Podge either buffalo plaid paper or just any kind of paper that you like onto these and get the same kind of effect. All right. Paint everywhere. Baby wipes are great for getting paint off of things. Okay, so now we're just gonna pull the tape off. And look how cute that is. I just love this buffalo plaid. And you will see that because it wasn't completely dry, like we pulled a little bit of paint off, it's best to like walk away for a little bit and come back and make sure your paint is completely dry, or it will do that. But I kind of like it. It kind of gives it this more rustic-y type look. So I kind of like that. And like I said, you can see too where, you know, just because our background wasn't completely covered, you can't really tell once you get all those other stripes on there. You can't really tell as much. So now you can see what I was saying is I don't want two sitting right next to each other that look exactly the same. So we'll make sure that when we put our letters on here in a second, that we put them on so that the two next to each other look different. Okay, so then I cut out, before we got started, I used my Cricut and I cut out letters for the word fall on gold permanent vinyl. If you don't have a Cricut, you could also hand paint these. You could use a Sharpie. You could buy letters. I know the Dollar Tree did have some like wooden chipboard letters that you could paint and glue on. So there's a lot of options if you don't have a Cricut or a cutting machine that you can cut letters with. Okay. So now we are just going to adhere these letters. Normally when you do vinyl, you use a transfer tape and transfer your letter and put it down. Because these are still kind of wet, I'm just gonna put them on by hand. The letters are big enough that it's not really gonna matter how I do it. I can hold this in my hand and not have to worry about it. So I'm just gonna set it on here in the middle of my pumpkin, and we're just gonna squish that down. So now we have, and I know it's backwards to you guys, but it says fall. Okay, so put the A down. One L. And another L. And like you could do, it'd be really cute with like a Halloween paper and like Boo. That would be cute. So there's a lot of options here. All right, so we've got those on. I'm gonna cover the sides one more time here with a little bit of gold. I don't know where my paper towel went. Okay, so just another bit of gold here on the side to make sure that that has a good coat. And then we're gonna put a little bow on top and it'll be ready to set up and decorate with. like I said, for a more finished look, you can definitely see in the back, and then you won't see all that what was originally on there. My helper has climbed in my lap here. You see her? It's my help. Okay, helper. You get back down there, thank you. Alright, last one. One thing about the vinyl, when you put it down too, if you're having trouble with it sticking, you could take a blow dryer and just hit it with a blow dryer. Don't get it too close because you will melt the vinyl. But if you just hit it with a blow dryer just a little bit, it will adhere a little bit better to your surface. Or like if you're having trouble with bubbles or stuff, the heat from the blow dryer will help that stick just a little bit. You don't want to get it too hot because it does have toxic fumes if you heat it up too much. But just a short burst of heat will work and it'll help that. Okay, I've got this cute buffalo plaid ribbon that I already have, so we're going to use it. I think I'm just going to fold it over and just kind of put it around the top. And I might use some of this raffia that was already on there just to give this a little variation. I'm going to plug my glue gun in. Glue stick. Okay, so this is the raffia that was already on top of the pumpkin when we bought it. So I'm going to take this bow apart and use a small piece of this. There goes the glue gun. All right, so we're just gonna clip that. And I folded, this is wire ribbon, it's rather large for this project, so I'm just gonna fold it over into thirds so that I have just a cute little piece. And then I'm gonna take a smidge of this raffia here and just kind of put it in the middle. So now we've got buffalo plaid on bottom, raffia on top, and then I think we will just kind of put it around the top like that. And I'm just going to put a dab of hot glue right there. Over here so you guys can see what we're doing. It's not quite heated up. Almost. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and cut these other pieces while we're waiting on that to heat up. Let's see if it's hot enough now. There we go. And then you can clip your ends however you want. I like the little V. I don't know what you call that, but that's how I like my ribbon to look. Okay. Let's see. Hot glue string. Alrighty, so there you have it. Okay, cute that is. And those will look super cute sitting on your mantle or whatever. So just a little glue on here, and I just kind of wrapped it around like a little scarf. I didn't tie it necessarily because I didn't want it to be big and bulky at the top. So to get those cute little V's, you just fold your ribbon in half and then clip at an angle, and you'll get that cute little V at the end of your ribbon to make it look more finished. Just make sure you're cutting the right way to get your shapes. I tend to have a little trouble with that sometimes. So there's our A. Okay, 1L, go. Oh, just falling down. Running out of glue. And just tie this into a little ribbon, a little bow. And that was just the raffia off of one pumpkin that I used to make the raffia bows for all of these. So I can save the rest of that for another project. And there we go. Look at those. How cute. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the craft, and hopefully I will see you on Wednesday. Don't forget to sprinkle the video. Have a great Monday. See you later.